Hey everybody, this is Wave Storm Tracking Team Meteorologist Ryan Hoke here. We've got an update on the Breckenridge, Hardin, LaRue, Nelson, and Grayson, and of course Southern Bullitt County severe thunderstorm warning that's ongoing. This severe thunderstorm warning that you see right here on your screen, of course, is going to be the one that we're tracking. It's a pretty large one, and it goes until 12 noon, and it's a 60-mile-per-hour wind threat with this round of storms moving through central Kentucky. There has been a 58-mile-per-hour wind gust measured in Breckenridge County, so the National Weather Service in Louisville is like, okay, we're just going to go ahead and hoist the severe thunderstorm warning. I do want to mention, just kind of with a wider scope here, that the most severe storms, the highest threat of severe storms and tornadoes over like the next couple of hours really is going to be in this zone right here that you see along the Tennessee border. Dare County may get clipped by that. That's basically where we're seeing the best overlap of wind shear and instability in the atmosphere. That's going to be down towards southern Kentucky. But let's drill in on this warning here for just a second. That's in central Kentucky. Of course, it is a wave weather alert day. Our commitment to you on a day like this is to make sure we're giving you frequent and consistent updates here on wave weather now, both on our weather app and, of course, on our social media platforms. We want to make sure that we have folks covered where you are consuming your information the best here. So as we drill in, you'll see that E-Town is kind of next in line for this. I do believe we may have our E-Town SkyTrack camera available here so that we can see what that looks like. I'm going to try to pop that up and kind of show you the leading edge of these storms as they move in. And it looks like we do have it there. You can see the rain curtain starting to come in. The left side of your screen here, which is, of course, you know, when I'm pointing that direction, there we go. That side of the camera is going to be the main part that we see of this storm moving in right there. Aha, I can circle on this. So you get the idea that, you know, we're going to have some ground truth to some of this here as well. All right, let's back up here. We've got this tornado watch until 4 o'clock Eastern time. This covers areas along and south of I-64 here. There may be another watch issued for the second round of storms tonight. That still looks to be, you know, after 8 o'clock, after 10 o'clock, especially here closer to midnight in Louisville when those storms are moving in. Okay, back to the warning now. And the folks that are in this warning right now in terms of population, it's a, you know, pretty good size, about almost 100,000 people within this warning, because it does cover E-Town here, kind of the extreme southern suburbs of Louisville. Let's break it down on the velocity view here, and you'll be able to see exactly what this looks like. There we go. And what we're watching and why this warning was triggered is because of this section right about here. These winds in this section right here, just west of E-Town, that are currently moving toward Radcliffe and northern parts of E-Town. I have measured at one point a pixel on these radar indicated winds up to 84 miles per hour. That doesn't mean that's making it to the ground. There's a little bit of an inversion here that is keeping us from seeing some of the worst of the winds, as it were. I'm going to take off the warning here so we can query what we have here wind-wise. There we go. And you'll see, looks like 63 miles per hour right there, and that's just west of E-Town. This is going to be just southwest of Radcliffe, 68 miles per hour. Again, not all of this is making it to the ground because the radar beam is shooting up at least about 1,000-ish feet or so, but we are getting pretty close to the West Point, Kentucky radar site there, so maybe even less than that. So pretty good, you know, radar coverage in this area, so we like to see that. That's for certain. Let's get back to the radar view here and put some times on this. I know a lot of folks in the chat are asking, including Heather here. It's like, what time for LaRue County, Hodgenville are we looking at for the worst part of these storms here? And for you guys in Hodgenville, you're kind of right in the line of fire, as it were. Got a new severe thunderstorm warning. This now does include the southwestern part of the Louisville metro. You see it literally just popping on your screen here. That does include PRP Valley Station. That is until 12 noon, and that is a 60-mile-per-hour wind speed on that, as it were, for the moment. So good to see that none of these are like 70 miles per hour at this time, which we had, you know, a little bit earlier to our west. You can see that the winds nearing Brandenburg there, just south and west of Grampton, are the ones that the National Weather Service in Louisville are concerned about here. We're in constant communication with the National Weather Service, by the way, and, you know, they've been kind of relaying what they're doing with all of these warnings here. Let's zoom things out so you can see what exactly is going on with these two warnings here. I want to put some times on this because we can finally get to that now with the, you know, second warning kind of out in the wild and issued here. If my computer will let me query that. There we go. Okay, so let's set this forward speed here. Let's see if we can do that. Forward speed. Okay, that's going to be a lot faster than that. So probably about 45, 50 miles an hour. Boom. All right, here comes the timing on this. And there you go. So these are the times. Hodgenville about 11:42. So you guys have about just under 10 minutes for this to arrive. E-Town's about 11:36. You guys are about 2 minutes away from the front leading edge of these storms getting to your location. Bardstown about 12:07. Shepherdsville, 11:54. You guys are now under a severe thunderstorm warning as well, just barely, but you are. It's that area of winds near Brandenburg that's heading in your direction here. Buffalo, about 11:43. Boston, Kentucky. There, we are. Let's see. We are looking, of course, at Boston there with 11:51 a.m. and Raywick at 12:03. So let's query these warnings again to give you the latest on the thinking with these. Kind of the parameters on this here. And this is 60-mile-per-hour winds heading into the Louisville metro area on this warning here. And the warning to our south has 70-mile-per-hour winds, considerable wind damage. Now, they have updated that severe thunderstorm warning to, of course, encompass that at this time. So looks like, we are going to continue to monitor that as it moves on through here. Let's see. Zoom out just a little bit here so you can see what we're looking at down to the south. We're, of course, monitoring the storms along the Tennessee border here. Those are going to be the most severe, quite possibly, but these storms, even moving into the Louisville metro area right now, are certainly going to pack a punch, and that's why we continue to cover them here with a pretty intense eye here, because it's moving into folks' areas where folks, over 100,000 people per warning here are being impacted. You'll see near Radcliffe, I'm going to query that pixel there, 79-mile-per-hour wind speed detected by radar aloft. That's not at ground level here. Again, we've had about 58-mile-per-hour winds detected there. Let's see, in Louisville, we are in communication with each other as well. So I'm on the group chat here, just making sure that I've got everything covered here. Tawana Andrew is just in the next room over monitoring things. And if we do need to, for tornado warning coverage, go wall to wall, we will do so on TV. Speaking of which, I am watching this little section right here. Let's see what that looks like. So that looks more like a downburst signature at this point, but we are going to watch that little whirligig on radar there. I think that's mostly kind of a MARC, a mid-altitude radial convergence of Mark signature there, just because of how it's oriented to the radar site. That's going to be near Upton, so some damaging winds near Upton at this point. Let me get back to the base radar here so you guys can see what that looks like. Yeah, thankfully that's in a spot that's not as concerning for rotation, so I think that is going to be a downburst moving through that section. I do not want to forget our friends here in Louisville. You've probably seen your phone going off about the severe thunderstorm warning that has, of course, been issued for your area. This is basically just west of I-65 in Louisville. So again, Shively, PRP, Valley Station. If you're west of Okolona, if you are in Fairdale, if you're near the Jefferson Memorial Forest, if you're near Beachmont, if you're near Churchill Downs, if you're up a little closer to like Chickasaw Park, if you're in Shively, these are the areas that need to be away from doors and windows and on standby here in case any rotation tries to develop in these. Again, I think that particular part, the rotation, is going to stay mainly to our south here with this initial line of storms. Again, the line of storms tonight may be more severe than this. So that's troubling for sure, but we'll see how this line of storms impacts the atmosphere as we go through the next several hours here to see how that line of storms tonight is going to develop. Okay, we're looking at the wind velocity here, and you can see that we've got that little downburst now moving through Flint Hill. That is indeed an MARK, a mid-altitude radial convergence signature, not rotation there, that just moved through Flint Hill, just south and west of Hodgenville. If you're wondering what the heck am I looking at, it's this boy right here. Just keeping an eye on that. That is, again, not rotation. That is downburst, potentially moving into LaRue County. A downburst, still not good news. We don't want to see that. But certainly it's kind of a slight step down from a tornado, which is a good thing. So downburst winds now moving into the Hodgenville area, Magnolia, 31 Eves cutting through straight through central LaRue County. You guys need to be away from doors and windows and inside. Don't try to get out and look at this thing. There's a lot of rain out ahead of it, so it's not going to be great to even see much at this point. This is starting to move into E-Town proper. I'm going to pop up our SkyTrack camera here because that should be pretty impressive at this point. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. McDonald's just lost power in E-Town. Guston, Kentucky has no power, according to Tina. There's the E-Town SkyTrack camera. It looks like an absolute hurricane there. Wow. So the power outages are probably going to be pretty intense here. I'm going to message our team about that because this is going into a pretty populated area. Power outages reported in... let's see here. Guston and E-Town. Make sure that we all know that at this point here. Okay, so that's just our communication with our team here. But boy, I mean, look at that. It's like you could see little bits of leaves or small debris flying past the camera. This is intense. If you're in E-Town, if you're in central Hardin County, you need to be inside, away from doors and windows. This is the real deal right here. Wow, we're losing visibility pretty quickly. The fact that we were seeing it not only raining sideways, but just little bits of something, either leaves or very small debris flying past this camera here was impressive, to say the least. Goodness gracious. 31W there. Dixie Highway is in view. This is at the Hardin Memorial Hospital there, the Baptist Health Hardin as it is right now. And this is pretty extreme here. Just to kind of see the sideways motion of everything like this with a storm that, on radar has been pulling, at least just aloft there. History of 80+ mile/hour winds, just a few hundred to a few thousand feet off the surface, and at least one report confirmed on ground level of a 58 mile/hour gust in Breckenridge County. Okay, power out in East E-Town. The hospital is without power, according to Lisa. No surprise there. In fact, it looks kind of dark. You can tell like all the lights that are usually along Dixie Highway there. Wow, that's impressive. I'm going to pass along that hospital power outage report there. This is something else, guys. Wow. Still going through at this point. We're just going to stay on this camera here for just a minute because I think this demonstrates the power of these storms a bit better than the radar may be able to. Wow, that's impressive, guys. Let's see. We've got more comments. Lights have flickered quite a few times in Radcliffe. According to Amber here, Radcliffe again from Tammy. Lights are flickering on and off. You guys are great with these power outage reports here. I really appreciate it. If you see damage, please let me know. That way we can pass this along too. Power is flickering in Cecilia at the moment. This is kind of the great thing about having a two-way stream here with you guys on social media. You can tell us what's going on. Stephenburg, Kentucky, no power, no electricity at Nolan Lake. No surprise there. Flickering east of I-65 in E-Town at this point. Shelby's asking, where's this video? This is E-Town. We are right at Baptist Health Hardin. You can see one of the buildings of Baptist Health Hardin there in the foreground. You just saw that lightning strike too, most likely if you were paying attention. Power out in Garrett, Kentucky. Trees are leaning bad in E-Town right now from Luna on YouTube. Eckerty, we've got heavy rain and powerful winds. Lights are on and off in Ekron and Brandenburg. Power flickering in Brandenburg. Karen's asking, why are we not seeing this reporting on Wave TV? We currently have the Indy 500 pre-coverage on right now, and our policy is if there's a tornado warning or 70 mile/hour winds for the metro, that we would go wall-to-wall with this on television here. This is another severe thunderstorm warning right now. This is going to be southern parts of Adair County. Currently seeing this here. That is not going to hit Columbia proper. We've got 60 mile/hour winds marked on that at the moment here. And then, of course, considerable damage possible with the severe thunderstorm warning up near E-Town. E-Town's getting rocked right now. Power outages coming in all over the place. Flickering from Maddie, flickering power in LaRue County. Thank you, Maddie, for telling us that. More Ekron Brandenburg reports. of power kind of flickering on and off. Let's see. We've got one person on YouTube here. Power went out in the country in Rhineyville. That's in Hardin. Took out some trees here as well. Not surprised to see that, given what we're experiencing on radar here and what we've seen on that camera. Trees down in Flaherty, in Ekron, in Meade County. Power flickering in E-Town. So again, that is the E-Town area here. And just so we can kind of regroup here, we are covering 2 to 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. I say 2, 2, 3 because it's just the very southern tip of Adair County that's under a severe thunderstorm warning down there. That's south of Columbia. Not a whole lot of folks in that within our viewing area here who would tune in to Wave or our social and Wave Weather Now streams here. But again, this is going to be Hardin, LaRue, Nelson. If you're in Bardstown, you're under this. Southern Bullitt County. And currently the worst of this is getting ready to move through the Bardstown area, areas near Blue Gap. If you're in New Haven, if you're in Hodgenville, be away from doors and windows. Hodgenville is getting ready to get real there right now because of what we're seeing on the radar, what we have seen in E-Town here. I do want to get out of this and show you E-Town one more time here. According to Tawana Andrews, seeing more than 800 folks without power in E-Town right now. Looks like more than 1,000 in the whole county of Hardin here. Looks like things have calmed down considerably in E-Town proper. We still do see some lights on, which is good, but not a whole ton of them. You can see a couple of these illuminated street signs right there. Looks like we may have some lights in the distance. So it's not everybody who's without power along Dixie and E-Town right now. But, the report of Hardin, Baptist Health Hardin being without power and on generator, that's it's a good thing they've got the generator. But that's definitely not a good situation there. And hopefully they can get the power back on soon. Okay, let's take this thing eastbound if we can, timing it out. We've got over 2,300 folks on the stream right now, so I'm going to stay with you. Again, if I suddenly cut off of this and have to go to the studio, we'll try to kick back on this stream on Wave Weather Now on wave3.com, the Wave Weather app and the Wave Now app for your smart TV. If we have to do that, if there is at any point 70-mile-per-hour winds for the metro or a tornado warning issued, we will go and, of course, interrupt television for that. And then you'll kind of see us go dark here for a couple minutes and then come back up with that coverage live as well. So just wanted to let you all know that in case I have to run out of here real quick. Don't want anybody to panic. That has happened before. We have to switch studios when that happens. Okay, so let's time this out. Shepherdsville, 11:52. Iroquois Park, 11:55. Jeffersonville, 12:13 p.m. Fisherville, 12:18. Lebanon, Kentucky, 12:21. Simpsonville, this is going to be 12:29. These are arrival times for these storms with damaging winds to move into your neck of the woods. I don't want to forget about Louisville. We haven't forgotten about you. It's just the damaging winds haven't hit here yet. But that's why I'm kind of just ping-ponging between these 2 severe thunderstorm warnings here. West Point's getting hit pretty bad now, right at the radar site there. Shepherdsville, Hillview, areas west of Okolona, areas on the southwest side of downtown Louisville, basically along 9th Street here, are under the severe thunderstorm warning. I do want to put on the velocity here so that we can see under the hood of this storm to see what the winds are doing in here. And I'm not seeing, and again, we're kind of in this cone of silence near the radar here, so that's not great. But just away from that, south and east of Corydon, near New Middletown, Indiana, that looks like a 50-mile-per-hour radar indicated wind pixel there. Query some more, 49, so that is sub-severe. That is good. But again, it's hard to tell closer to this cone of uncertainty what's going on. Near West Point, got a 53-mile-per-hour wind indicated by radar. That looks like 37 miles per hour there. There it is. So, not picking up anything at this point, but it's hard to tell since we're so close to the radar site. In the storm aloft, that's as concerning down that way. This has been very concerning down in parts of LaRue, Nelson, Hardin counties here. Let's put the velocity on that. Again, we're just trying to serve everybody equally here, but with also the knowledge that we've already had power outages and some damage reported in Meade and Hardin counties with these storms within the last few minutes here. Electricity is out in E-Town from Kyle. Appreciate that. Crazy winds in central Indiana from Amanda. Appreciate you telling us about that there, querying some of these winds here. And these are looking not as crazy as they once did, which is good. Near Boston, we still have 36 miles per hour. Back up here and move this to the north. Looks like there's some Lebanon Junction. You guys may have some pretty strong winds now moving in. Again, no rotation with any of this at this time that I'm seeing. It's hard to pick that out, but I'm not seeing anything that would even remotely suggest that. Yeah, 28 mile per hour winds there. So you guys might be seeing some gusts. Okay, so this is not looking as intense as it once did. This is starting to run out of gas a bit, which is good. The way things look on radar, at least. It's hard to tell still because the storms are right at the radar site. So, it may take a scan or two for it to really, pick back up. The reason we saw the winds pick up a lot in central Kentucky here through Hardin County is because of what's called a rear inflow jet. And that's basically an inflow of air that is pushing on the back side of this. That's helping the storms to bow out and increase the forward wind speed within the apex of that bow there. And that can cause some wind damage. We, of course, have seen problems with that. Trees down, power lines down, power outages reported. I'm going to take you to the power outages map. I have to let that cook for like 10 minutes after something passes by because it takes a minute for it to hit the maps here. But we're going to see here in just a second. It takes a minute to load because we've got 34 counties that have to load in. But you can see that we do have some power outages being reported in Breckinridge County. About 2% of customers tracked there without power. 1% Grayson. Hardin hasn't hit yet. 22 customers out, but I bet that number is just going to go way up here shortly. Tawana, of course, told us that there are at least 1,000 folks without power in Hardin County. It just takes a minute to hit this map because it has to go through some data sources first before it gets here. Let's see here. Okay, so we're back on the map for the radar. Zoom back in again. Lightning is going to be a deadly consequence of these storms as they move through. We do have one cluster of lightning that's pretty significant down near Magnolia and Hodgenville. That's going to be near 31E at this point, pushing east of that, moving toward Attila, Kentucky. That's going to be in southwest parts of Marion and southern parts of Nelson County near New Haven here very shortly. So be indoors, away from doors and windows. We've got Jamie Underwood here on Facebook. She says power is out in West Point. That's no surprise. Cindy says she has a part of the trim off of her garage. Please put your location if you're going to make a report like that because we need to see what's going on. Tawana says now 3,500 without power in Hardin County. Again, our maps will update with that here shortly. They have to go through the poweroutage.us kind of network and database before they get here. And that takes a little bit of time for that to aggregate, if you will. That warning has just been updated here. This is the warning for Hardin, LaRue, Marion, and Nelson. 70 mile per hour winds on that. They've trimmed back the back part, which is a good idea. A considerable threat. Whenever you see this considerable tag on a severe thunderstorm warning, you know this means business. Usually means 70 plus mile per hour winds or very large hail. Speaking of hail, hail is not a big issue with these storms at all. This is mainly a wind maker for us. And again, this is round number 1 of 2. We're going to see round 2 later tonight, probably after 8 or 10 o'clock. I need to look at some of the data here to see how this round of storms is going to influence the next round. And I know we've got a lot of folks up at the Indianapolis 500, and you can see up that way. We've got Indianapolis's radar up here. Nothing severe up there, but certainly some rain and thunder starting to move into the Indianapolis metro area from the south and west. So that's why they have delayed that race. We have heard until I think 4:30 or 5 o'clock, the last I saw on that. I don't want to forget about folks here in Louisville. Let's show Louisville once again here because, we've got 700,000 people plus in the metro within Jefferson County proper here. I want to make sure we're serving you as good as we can here. Valley Station, PRP. This is now moving into your area. Shively, be away from doors and windows. Now we're past that cone of silence with the radar in West Point, and I can see the wind's a lot better. That's what I was concerned about. Okay, this right here, we've got a 68 mile per hour wind pixel near Valley Station, near Waverly Hills. If you are anywhere remotely near Waverly Hills Sanatorium, you need to be in your safe place, away from doors and windows, just kind of in the middle of the house here, because 70 plus mile per hour winds are possible. Now moving in, I do want to make sure that this warning doesn't have a 70 mile per hour tag on it here, and it indeed does here. So we are starting to see the potential for that. I'm going to give this a couple more scans here because I know I said we would break in on TV if it looked like we were going to have 70-mile-per-hour winds on that. And we, kind of want to get to that if we can here. Let's see here. We've got some information from Gazebo Fest. For those holding tickets for the Gazebo Festival today, they are not going to be opening gates until 1 o'clock. Stay tuned on the app. Gazebo Festival delayed until after 1 p.m. today with these storms currently moving in. Okay, Valley Station, you guys need to, oh my goodness, yeah, 65-mile-per-hour winds, 66-mile-per-hour winds now moving through Valley Station, PRP at this time. 67. So this is just below 70 miles per hour, which is good. Oops, that's not good though. 76. I finally got to punch up there. 76-mile-per-hour wind velocity on this moving into Valley Station. Okay, guys, you're not going to like this, but unfortunately, I am going to have to cut off this stream, and we're going to have to go on TV here. So let me just kind of tell our folks here that what we're going to do. Going to the studio to do all to wall for 70 mile per hour on TV. Metro on TV. Okay. So we're going to end this stream. Stay tuned. Wave3.com/weather now. And of course, we'll try to get update on TV here. And of course, on our Wave Weather Now live stream, it's in the Wave Weather app. All right, guys. So I'm going to be back on TV here in just a short second. We'll see you right then.